Was there anything in particular that you wanted to clear up, or anything you wanted to...
I think that the other media is so slanted the other way that I don't get a fair shake, and I think if you have questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them, because the questions I have answered for the other media outlet, it doesn't seem to get printed that way. I just think that my biggest concern is everything that myself and others have tried to do to further the expansion and trying to move ahead with any type of repairs or anything. At every corner we get shut down.
You're talking about the courthouse?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Is that your number one priority?
I think the voters made it a number one priority. Just deeply I expressed my concerns because of the fact that we only appropriated $1,000 for the maintenance and repair on probably a $6 million building if we had to replace it. And I know things are tight, I totally understand that, but we appropriated $10,000 for just capital improvements out at Drake for a metal building. And we should be appropriating a lot more money in that, and I've asked the other two commissioners in session to work with me to try to find bond issues, any kind of money out there from individuals, whatever we could get to start with the renovation. Mm-hmm. And every time I do that, I get shut down. And I think that the election's going to show what the taxpayers are looking for. I think the taxpayers are looking at what's our track record's been in the past, and I think they might even change that. Well, it's just, like I said, every time we went to do any expansion or cleaning up around the courthouse, I was turned into the ethics committee and went through a 3-month investigation because I used personal equipment as well as county equipment on the private property that's going to be donated to the county. And they went through a very extensive investigation. They found absolutely nothing. They said as long as we're doing anything to benefit man, that it was perfectly fine what we were doing.
When was this?
This was last fall. I've had been turned in twice to the ethics committee by the Southern District Commissioner's son, Kyle Larimore.
So there was 2 different instances?
Right. The first instance was that I would not vote to pay bills for the county. And when I see a bill that I don't think needs to be paid, I question it. And if I don't think it needs to be paid, I vote no, not to pay it. Mm-hmm. So that was the first incident. And the second one was that he falsified the document and said that we were using county equipment without the express consent or knowledge of the commission. And I truly asked, and it is in the minutes of the meeting, where I had asked the commissioners if we could use county equipment to clear off this land for the taxpayers, even though it wasn't county property as of yet. Mm. And it was voted that it was okay to use county equipment to do that, and then his son turned around and turned that into the ethics, which wasted 3 months of their time. They got valuable time.
Yeah.
So, and when we did the cleanup day, I think you know about that fiasco, that there was a supposed break-in into an office, and that got totally blown out of hand, and people are just waiting to see things change before they start helping anymore. Oh, the energy is there. The people are just standing in line to wait. They're going to wait till after the election. People are tired of seeing things going the way they're going. And like I said, I have asked all 3 of us to sit down and work, and the only thing that presiding commissioner tells us is he's still waiting for somebody to bring him a plan and show him the money. And I keep reiterating, that's not up to the public to do. That's up for us to do as commissioners, to sit down and come up with a plan on what to do and how we go about finding the money to do it. It hasn't changed any. I think you can see with what went on in the minutes, or not the minutes actually, but what Mr. Nodell put on there. People didn't realize the abuse was that bad until they read the transcript.
At the road meeting?
Yes. Yep. And it's truly opened a lot of people's eyes. They didn't realize the verbal attacks were the way they were. And I think it says everything you need to know about the character of who made the accusations. You know, all I'm trying to do is, we have browbeat all of our elected officials to try and squeeze every dime out of everything, because we have no money. And all I'm trying to do is look for different ways that we can find money to put back in, so hopefully we can give our employees a raise, and hopefully they wouldn't have to pay their insurance. But to just keep giving it away and not stepping up and saying something, I think is the wrong thing to do. I think we need to overhaul everything that we're doing.
Everything?
Well, I think we need to take a serious look at everything that we're doing. I mean, we've got to start looking to do business better for the taxpayers that we're representing. You know, to just say, well, you know, we'll take state bid, that's good enough. There's a lot better deals out there than just taking the state bid. State bid's the easiest way to go. It keeps the auditors off your back. It suffices the state when it comes to an audit, but there's still a lot better deals out there. Oh, I think that the taxpayers made it real clear they want the courthouse fixed, and I think they were expecting us to come up with a plan for either a bond issue or private donations, whatever we could go out and work and get. I think they expect us to do it. That is our job. It's not that we have to sit and wait for somebody to bring it to us, but we as a group have to sit down as a group of 3, not a group of 2, because everything to this point has been 2 to 1. And the 2 to 1 has to stop in order to make things work. We have to sit down as 3 commissioners and take more than a 5-minute meeting and talk about things that we have to do as a commission.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the big things. There's a lot of things that are decided unbeknownst to me. Just like the other day when we went out to the shed and we had the brutal meeting out there. It was clear, it was cut, and it was dried. When I walked in there, they had already made up their mind that they were going to split the tire contract in half and give half to one, half to the other. Had no say-so, all cut and dried before we even get there. So I did not vote no, because if you remember in the meeting, I was never given the opportunity to vote. He said, all in favor of those, say aye. No, same sign. That was never mentioned. All he said was, Mr. Yost said was, all in favor, say aye. You can't vote. It's a basic parliamentary procedure that we just don't follow. And I think it's wrong.
What kind of areas do you think particularly need to be brought into the public eye?
I just feel that we truly need to work together as a team, and there is no teamwork. And you can have lawsuits and you can have everything else, but life still goes on. You may not want to work with me, but I am a team player, and that's part of the team. But when the decisions are all cut and dried and done before it even gets to me, there's not a team in that.
Yeah.
There's a team of 2, not a team of 3.
Given that there are an odd number of commissioners, I mean, it seems like it would always slant one way or the other, depending on...
Not really. I don't see it. The presiding commissioner should be voting only when there's a tie, or to break a tie.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly think that voting on a tire issue that was totally cut and dried at the shed when I got there, knowing that Central Tire was getting half the contract and Joe's Tire was getting the other half of the contract. Since it's his brother's company, it's truly a conflict of interest. And Mr. Yost, in the last, from 2006 till now, has always abstained voting on the tire contract. But he knew when he left Drake, Joe's Tire was getting half the contract. So he stepped up to the plate and he voted, because I refused to second the motion by Commissioner Larimore.